We are thankful to all the brave defenders who have been fighting against Russia's military aggression in Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting for the whole world. Ukraine is fighting for democracy in the whole world. And Russia has to be stopped. If Russia is not stopped, it will go further, because Russia is a threat to all the democratic and civilized world. We have the honor today to have the American defender, American soldier from the International Legion that is fighting in Ukraine against Russia's military aggression. Thank you so much, Carl, for fighting against Russia's invasion, for fighting for Ukraine's freedom, independence, and democracy. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the introduction. Yes, so my name is Carl Larson. I was a soldier in the International Legion last year. I was in Ukraine for 6 months. I was in the Legion for 4.5, and I was stationed at the front lines east of Kharkiv for 2.5 months. I'm here in Washington, D.C. I'm very pleased to be invited to join this daily demonstration with the US Ukrainian Activists group. I encourage anybody in the greater Washington, D.C. area to come down here. They've been meeting here in front of the White House north side every day for 381 days, which shows enormous dedication, and it's very encouraging and heartening to see these people out here educating Americans and showing with their perseverance that Ukraine's situation is not forgotten by those of us across the world. A little bit about myself. As mentioned, I am an American. I'm not Ukrainian. I don't speak Ukrainian or Russian, unfortunately. I've learned a few words, but I'm not Ukrainian. But I like to think that after 6 months in the country, my heart beats blue and yellow. I feel very privileged to have had the honor to have served in this uniform for the Ukrainian people last year. I felt, so why did I go to Ukraine? Why did I leave my nice, comfortable life? I'm not Ukrainian. I had never planned to travel through Ukraine. I've heard good things about it, but I wasn't at the top of my list. But when this horrible situation happened, February 24th, I looked at my life. I'm a US Army veteran. I have experience in combat in Iraq. And I thought, well, what can I do that would be most effective? I can send money, I can volunteer as a civilian, or I can go help out in a more kinetic way at the front lines. And so I did a lot of research to determine if the International Legion was an effective fighting force, and if this was something that I would be properly utilized at, or if I would just be cannon fodder, or if I would just be sitting in a desk somewhere. And I saw that it was a good organization, had good leadership and good men in it, and I decided that I would go and join. So I traveled to Ukraine. I crossed the border March 8th last year, and worked as a recruiter, and then I joined the actual Legion, and then was stationed east of Kharkiv along the Severodonetsk River. So that's my background. What I'd like to talk about today is why this conflict in Ukraine should matter to Americans. This is a particular passion of mine, is talking to Americans who, like me, before last year had zero connection to Ukraine. It's unfortunate a lot of Americans don't even know where Ukraine is on the map. I think more now, but a lot of them wonder, okay, we've sent $100 billion, and it's in the news all the time. Why does it matter to me? And this is a question that I get regularly, and I am very fond of answering. And so I'll tell you that, as was just discussed, the reason this matters to Americans is because this is our fight. We just may not know it yet. And the Ukrainians are over there fighting with tanks and bombs and guns and shedding their blood. They're fighting with their blood. We're over here fighting the same fight, but with our votes and our voices and our wallets. And honestly, I'd rather pay money than my blood. So honestly, Americans are getting the better end of the deal. This is an investment in freedom and democracy. And if you look at Russia's actions over the last 10 years, more than 10 years, going back to the 2008 war in Georgia, and then even before that, in Chechnya, you know, them attacking Ukraine is just the latest, most obvious example of Russian aggression. They attacked us. They attacked our 2016 election. That was an attack. And whatever your politics are, you know, maybe you appreciate that attack because you think that it helped your candidate. You know what? Next time it could be for a candidate that you don't support. And we should be against foreign interference in our election, no matter which side, right? And you look at the government of Hungary, you look at the actions of Russia to support far left and far right politicians and movements all around the world. Hungary is a perfect example. The ties between the Hungarian government and the Russian government are very clear. It's an example of Vladimir Putin disrupting the NATO alliance and disrupting EU by supporting a far-right government in Hungary. He's doing the same thing all across Europe, and he's doing it in Africa and Latin America and here in America. If we don't wake up and realize that the Ukrainians are on the front lines of democracy and it's our fight, if we don't wake up and support the Ukrainians in their hour of need, then we will be on the wrong side of history and we will end up having that fight here, but not with our votes and money. It'll be with tanks and bombs and guns here. So that's what I wanted to say about why I support Ukraine and why I went and put my personal life on the line to help support their democracy. I feel that this was the most important thing I did with my life, and it's a privilege and an honor and a duty to be out here working with people, like-minded people, and supporting Ukraine until the victory. So I'll finish with Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава!
Thank you.